spirit of NTID lives in the 7,000 plus alumni who have graduated from here and are changing the world.
We have to be willing to change, to accept change in whatever we do to help our students succeed.
This is our fourth conference being partners with NTID and the University of Rochester with the mission to increase the number of deaf scientists.
When I look at the students, you fill me with passion, hope, and excitement.
We have strict rules. We have to have fun. Everybody agree with that?
I began by thanking you and the NTID community for everything you've given me. I wouldn't be here without having learned from you. So in high school, I was ready for a change to go out of state. I was very fortunate. My BR counselor told me about NTID. And really it began with I knew nothing. And I was taking my driver's test when I was 16. And you know, boys think they can drive well, right? Well, you're not supposed to pass when you're 16 and you're a boy. Missouri really intentionally liked to, fail boy drivers. But I barely passed. I mean, I'm barely 1 point. And the evaluator sat in the car and looked at me and he said, I have a deaf brother. And you know about this college called NTID? He was the first one that told me, and I went, no, I didn't. And he told me about BR, so vocational rehabilitation. And I said, oh, so then I connected with BR and the possibility of coming to New York to NTID began as a possibility. I arrived in 50 years ago on this campus in 74. Scared about losing my voice, scared of, we didn't call it deaf culture in those days, we called it a subculture. And, my first few weeks here were not necessarily pleasant. They were a little overwhelming. We had about 300 freshmen. We were all together, and there wasn't a lot of information shared about deaf culture, so many of us, I kind of hid in the library most of SVP. And then over time, during my freshman year, became exposed to ASL, deaf culture, made friends, got involved in the community. I just remember the first year, the first summer, I wanted to quit every day and go home. And my counselor, my academic advisor, Betty Tony, she sat down and she negotiated every day for me to stay for another week and, give myself time to adjust. And it was people like Betty Tony, who really encouraged me. And then also people like Butch Mothersell. I remember again, I wanted to leave. I didn't feel I belonged here. It was more hard of hearing. I wasn't signing yet, so I didn't fit in. So I wanted to leave. I said, this isn't home for me. It doesn't feel comfortable. Now remember, I went to a very small private Catholic high school where everyone knew everyone, and generally speaking, people were sensitive. And then you moved to New York at a big cultural change. Butch Mothersell had 4 kids at his home, including an adopted deaf daughter. And he knew that I was going to leave. He said, he's not going to fit. He invited me to his house overnight, invited me several times to his home. So it was people like Mothersell, Earl, Betty Tony, Liz O'Brien, a lot of the old timers, even Bill Castle, who made sure that I felt welcomed.
America and the world needs your passion. They need your sense of hope. They need your faith. So please get involved in the communities around you and make a difference. I know that you will all make an impact on the world. Go off, have fun, celebrate tonight, and then join us and help us improve the world.
One of the things I'm very proud of is my involvement in what we would call a senior project, and that was the research that led to the establishment of SAISD. I had a chance to work with a professor in psychology, Mort Isaacs, who was famous for being very supportive of deaf students. A colleague of mine, Donna Martin, another social work major, she and I did the first research with Dr. Isaacs that identified that alcohol use by deaf people was very similar to hearing people. That's common sense, but at the time we had no evidence. So there were no services for deaf people with alcohol problems. So we were able to make a report to New York State that led to the funding and the establishment of SAISD back in about 1980. So that was a wonderful experience of a student research project that led to a real difference for the community. And I'm very proud SAISD is celebrating its anniversary right now. And many years later, it's still serving the deaf community and providing substance abuse and addiction services that are critically needed for deaf and hard of hearing people. We have an enormous amount of experience, skill, and knowledge here. Dr. Brzezina was famous for saying that no one has all the answers. When deaf people come here, they're often haven't had equal access to services growing up. So maybe their signing isn't fluent, or maybe their speech is something they want to work to improve, or maybe they want to develop a new skill, interview skills. No one has all the answers. That's why we have a team of professionals with different backgrounds and disciplines here at NTID. We have the technical faculty who teach very important technical skills. We have the communication faculty and staff who help to support students figure out how are they going to make communication work with their choices. We have employment advisors who help students prepare for interviews. No one has all of the knowledge necessary to help these young people, so we all work together and we respect one another. And that's been a hallmark here, that we welcome and respect all of the faculty and staff who work here. Doesn't mean we agree all the time. We have different perspectives on communication, disciplines, but we respect one another, with the emphasis all being on helping that young person grow to the fullest of their potential and be ready to leave here and be successful in the world of work. I just want to thank all the people here at NTID. 50 years ago, I came here and found myself, and many of us have this story, found my identity, found out language, culture, even though we didn't call it that at the time, still. And that was really important for me as a person. And I want all young deaf people in America to have that experience, hopefully by coming to NTID. And all of us have a responsibility to continue to make this a very special place for young deaf people. So thank you for the many years of support that people like you and others in the community have given me, especially in the challenging times, COVID, Black Lives Matter, different times where we had to face some tough issues together. But we came together and we supported each other, and NTID is a better place now because of that.